Unit 5, Day 4, Solve Systems with Elimination. Bell ringer number 1, solve by graphing. Y equals 2x minus 3. I'm going to look at my thing. Remember, with the y equals mx plus b, this number is your y-intercept, and your m is your slope. So I'm looking at my first problem. 2x minus 3, my negative 3 is going to be my b, my slope is going to be m, which is going to be 2 over 1 because we want rise over run. I'm going to plot my negative 3, and I'm going to go up 2, 1, 2, run to the right 3. Then I'm going to do the whole board. So up 2 to the right. Then I'm going to go down 2 to the left. So it'll be negative 2 over negative 1. Y equals x plus 2. My 2 is my b. There's a 1 here, so my slope is going to be 1 over 1. So I'll go positive 2. Up 1 over 1. Up 1 to the right. 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 Down 1 to the left. Down to the left all the way across. My points meet, my lines meet right here at 5, 7. If I wanted to check it, y, 5 for y, or 7, I'm sorry, 7 for y equals 2 times 5 minus 3. 2 times 5 is 10, minus 3 equals 7. So the first one checks out. For the second one, 7 equals x with 5 plus 2. 7 equals 2, both of them check out. So 5, 7 is the solution. Bell ringer number 2, solve by substitution. Show all work. Remember, with substitution, we're going to sub in one of my y equals. So I'm going to take this x plus 9, and I'm going to sub it in for this y. So I have x plus 9 equals negative 3x minus 7. So we're going to solve for x first. So I'm going to add 3x to both sides to try to get x by itself. So x plus 3x gives me 4x plus 9 equals negative 7. Subtract 9 from both sides, so I got 4x equals negative 16. Divide by 4. X equals negative 4. So to find my y value, I'm going to take this x and I'm going to plug it into my second equation. So y equals negative 4 plus 9. Y equals 5. So I think my solution is going to be negative 4, 5. I want to check it. I'm going to use the first problem. So 5 equals negative 3 times negative 4 minus 7. Negative 3 times negative 4 gives me positive 12 minus 7. 12 minus 7 gives me 5. It checks out. So 4 or 5 is the solution. Steps to using elimination, linear combination. You're going to line up your equations in standard form. Remember, standard form is the ax plus bx equals c. Obtain opposites for one of the variables, x or y, then add the equations to solve for one variable, then substitute that answer into one of the original equations. So our goal is to eliminate either your x or your y first to solve for the other variable, and then we will sub it in to solve for the one that we eliminated. Solve by elimination. Number 1, 5x minus 6y equals negative 32. 3x plus 6y equals 48. If I add my equations together, I know that my negative 6y plus my 6y is going to eliminate my y value. It's going to eliminate them. They're going to be gone, okay? So now I'm left with 5x plus 3x, which gives me 8x. Negative 32 plus 48 gives me 16. Divide by 8, because I'm solving for x. That gives me 1. 16 divided by 8 gives me 2. So my x value is 2. I'm now going to take my equation and I'm going to plug it into my second equation to solve for y. Okay, so I have 3 times 2 plus 6y equals 48. 6 times 2 is 6 plus 6y equals 48. Subtract 6. So now I'm just solving for y. 6 minus 6 gives me 0. So I'm left with 6y on my left hand side. 48 minus 6 gives me 42. Divide by 6 to get y by itself. Y equals 42 divided by 6, which gives me 7. So I think my solution might be 2, 7. But I want to check it first. Okay. I'm going to use my first equation to check. 5 times 2 minus 6 times 7 equals negative 32. 5 times 2 is 10. Negative 6 times 7 gives me 42. 10 minus 42 gives me negative 32. My answer checks out. So 2, 7 is my solution. So remember, your goal is to eliminate one of the variables. Solve by elimination. Number 2. 3x minus 3y equals 3. Negative 3x plus 5y equals 3. If I'm looking at my equation here, I know if I add, right here, if I add 3 plus negative 3x, it's going to give me 0. So I'm going to be able to eliminate my x this time, okay? So now I have negative 3 plus 5, which equals 2y. 3 plus 3 gives me 6. Divide by 2. Y equals 3. So this time I solved for y first, so now I'm going to plug in my y value into one of my equations to find my x value. And I'm just going to plug it in the first one. 3x minus 3 times 3 equals 3. So I have 3x minus 9 equals 3. I'm going to add 9 to both sides to get the 3x by itself. So I got 3x, that gives me 0. 3 plus 9 equals 12. Divide by 3. X equals 4. So I'm going to check it. To check it, I'm going to use my second equation. So negative 3 times 4 plus 5 times 3 equals 3. So I have negative 3 times 4 gives me negative 12 plus 15 equals 3. Negative 12 plus 15 does equal 3. So my answer checks out. So 4, 3 is my solution. You want to make sure that you put your x value first and your y first because your coordinates are in x, y. Number 6. not number 6, it's slide number 6, number 3. 3x plus y equals 11. 6x plus 3y equals 24. If I add here, I'm just going to show you, if I add, nothing's going to be eliminated. Okay? I'm just showing you that it won't be eliminated. So I have to figure out something else. Okay? I'm going to try to think of something that I can multiply by one of the variables that would be eliminated. I'm going to multiply, so I'm going to rewrite my problem here. So I have 3x plus y equals 11, and then 6x plus 3y equals 24. Okay? There's several ways that you can do this. You can multiply it by -3 to get rid of your y, or you can multiply by -2 to get rid of your x. I'm going to multiply by, let's do -2. So I multiply my first equation by -2. So I'm going to put my equation in parentheses. I'm going to distribute this -2 into my parentheses. Okay, so -2 times 3x equals 6x. I'm going to write it down here to have a little bit more. It would be -6x. -2 plus -1, or times -1 will give me -2y. Then -2 times 11 gives me -22. Okay, I'm going to rewrite my second equation. So now, when I add my equations together, this -6 plus 6 gets eliminated. Okay, and it becomes 0. So I have -2y plus 3y gives me y. -22 plus 22 gives me 2. So my y equals 2. Okay. While we're here, I'm going to show you if I multiply by -3, I would get the same answer. So if I multiply my equations by -3, multiply my top one. So -3 times 3x will give me -9x. -3 times 1 will give me -3y. -33. So if I add the 6x, -9x plus 6x gives me -3x. My y's will be eliminated. -33 plus 24 gives me -9 divided by -3. It gives me x equals 3 this time, okay? So in my red, I eliminated my x value to get my y, and then in my blue, I eliminated my y value to get my x. Either way is correct. So when we would have found my problem, like if I just stuck with my y, I would have put my 2 back into one of the original problems, and I probably would put it in the first problem just because it's the easiest. So 3x plus 2 equals 11. Subtract 2 from both sides. 3x equals 9 divided by 3. Your x would equal 3 here. If I did my blue side, I would have probably put my x in my first problem again. So 3 times 3 plus y equals 11. 3 times 3 is 9 plus y equals 11. minus 9, y equals 2. So I got the answer, I got the same ordered pair no matter which way that I did it. So there's actually no wrong way to solve for elimination as long as you eliminate one of the variables, either the x or the y. So 3, 2 is my solution. From this point on, I'm only going to solve it one way for elimination, but there's going to be multiple ways. I'll tell you if there's multiple ways, but I'm only going to eliminate using one way on the screen. Number 4, solve by elimination. 4x minus 5y equals negative 19 and negative x minus 2y equals 8. The easiest way to get it eliminated for this one is I noticed my 5 and 2, I would have to multiply both equations to get rid of my y, okay? But with my x value, I have 4 plus negative x. All I would need to do here is multiply my bottom equation by 4, okay? So I'm going to rewrite my other one here. So 4x minus 5y equals negative 19. 4 times negative 1 gives me negative 4x. 4 times negative 2, y gives me, not negative, I knew that. Would give me, negative 8y. 4 times 8 gives me 32. So now, when I add, put that in parentheses so you won't get that subtraction sign. 4 plus negative x, that's going to give me 0. That's going to eliminate there. Negative 5y plus negative 8y gives me negative 13y. Negative 19 plus 32 is going to give me 13. Divided by negative 13. Y equals negative 1. So I've solved for my y value. I'm going to put it in my, I'm going to sub it into my first equation to solve for x. And now I'm going to solve for x. 4x minus 5 times negative 1 equals negative 19. Negative 5 times negative 1 gives me positive 5 equals negative 19. Subtract 5 on both sides. 5 minus 5 gives me 0, so I'm looking for 4x equals negative 19 minus 5 gives me negative 24. Divide by 4, x equals negative 6. So I think my solution is going to be negative 6, negative 1. I want to check it. I'm going to use my second equation to check it. So negative 6 minus 2 times y, negative 1 equals 8. Negative times negative 6 will give me a positive 6. Negative 2 times negative 1 will give me a positive 2. 6 plus 2 equals 8 equals 8. Checks out. Remember, this would be like a negative 1 here. So it'll be negative 1 times negative 6 will give me positive 6. So negative 6, negative 1 is my solution. Number 5. 2x plus y equals 8. 4x minus y equals 1. If I add my equations here, y plus 1 plus negative 1 will give me 0. So I know I can just solve by elimination directly off the bat. I don't have to multiply any of my equations by a number to help eliminate one of my variables. So 2x plus 4x gives me 6x. Y plus negative y gives me 0. 8 plus 4 gives me 12. To solve for x, I'm going to divide by 6. 6 divided by 6 equals 1. Divide by 6 on the right-hand side. So x equals 12 divided by 6 gives me 2. Now I'm going to plug my x into my first equation. So 2 times 2 times 2 plus y equals 8. 2 times 2 is 4. Plus y equals 8. Subtract 4 from both sides. Gives me 0. Y equals 4. So I think my solution is going to be 2, 4. I'm going to check it. I'm going to use my second equation to check it. 4 times 2 minus 4 equals 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Minus 4 equals 4. 8 minus 4 is 4 equals 4. It checks out. So 2, 4 is my solution. Number 6, 2x plus 2y equals 26, and x minus y equals 3. Here, you got to be careful. You got to figure out which one you want to eliminate, if you want to eliminate your x or your y. Okay? I'm going to eliminate my y so I can multiply by a positive number. Okay? So I wanted to eliminate my x, I would have to multiply everything by negative 2. And when you get right here, you might mess up on your multiplication. Okay? So I'm going to rewrite my equation over here. 2x plus 2y equals 26. 2 times 2x gives me 2x. 2 times negative 1 gives me negative 2y. 2 times 3 gives me 6. So I'm going to add it. 2x plus 2x gives me 4x. 2y plus negative 2y gives me 0, so I'm going to eliminate that. Equals 26 plus 6 gives me 32. Divided by 4. X equals 8. To solve for my y now, I'm going to plug it in my second equation. 8 minus y equals 3. Subtract 8 from both sides. Y equals negative 5. 3 minus 8 gives me negative 5. Ooh, this is a negative y, so I'm going to divide by negative 1. Negative 5 divided by negative 1 gives me a positive 5. Because remember, there's always a 1 in front of a variable, especially with a negative sign, so we have to get rid of my negative sign to get the y by itself. So I think 8, 5 is my solution. I'm going to use my first problem to check it. 2 times 8 plus 2 times 5 equals 26. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 5 is 10. 16 plus 10 gives me 26 equals 26. My answer checks out, so 8, 5 is my solution. Once you get the hang of it, it's fairly easy. Number 7, solve by elimination. 3x equals 4y minus 5, and 12y minus 9 equals 9x plus 15. I want to get them where it's ax plus by equals c, okay, the standard form. So I wanted to get the ax plus by equals c, okay. So my first equation to do that, I'm going to subtract 4 from each side, 4y from each side to get it over to the left-hand side. So it would be 3x minus 4y equals negative 5. And then I'm going to move my 9x over, so it'll be negative 9x plus 12y equals 15. To get rid of, I'm just going to get rid of my x. I'm going to multiply everything by 3. 3 times 3x equals 9x. 3 times negative 4 gives me negative 12y. 3 times negative 5 gives me negative 15. And then I have minus 9x plus 12y equals negative 15y. So add here, 9x plus negative 9x gives me 0x. Negative 12 plus 12y gives me 0y. The negative 15 plus positive, that's a positive 15, gives me 0. So I have 0 equals 0. So it's infinitely meaning solutions, because both sides equal each other and I got rid of both of my variables. Number 8, solve by elimination. X plus y equals negative 2, and then negative x minus y equals 4. I'm just going to add them. X plus negative x gives me 0. Y plus negative y gives me 0. Negative 2 plus 4 gives me 2. They are not equal to each other. I got rid of both of my variables, so this is a no solution. So remember, when both sides, if we get rid of both of our variables and both sides are equal, then it is a infinitely many solutions. If both sides are not equal, it's no solution. We're going to use elimination and work in a word problem. Gift wrap sells for $2 per package, and cards sell $5 per package. A class sells 220 total packages of gift wrap and cards and earns $695. Find the number of each package sold. So I'm going to use G for gift wrap, C for cards. So I have G plus C equals 220, and $2 for my gift wrap, so 2 times G plus 5 times C equals 695. I'm going to get rid of my gift wrap first, so I'm going to multiply my top by negative 2. So I have be negative 2G plus negative minus 2C equals negative 440 plus 2G plus 5C equals 695. Negative 2G plus 2G gives me 0, so 2C plus 5C. Negative 2C plus 5C gives me 3C equals negative 440 plus 695 gives me 255. Divide by 3. C equals 85. So I know how many cards I have. Now I need to see how many gift wrap that I sold. Okay, so now I'm going to just plug my 85 into my first equation. G plus 85 equals 220. Subtract 85 on both sides. G equals 135. So cards, 85 cards. Gift wrap, 135. If you want to check it, you can just do 2 times 135 plus 5 times 85 is going to equal 695. Write that a little better. Two times 135 gives me 270. 5 plus 85 gives me 90. Oh, not plus. 5 times 85 gives me 425. Plus 270 equals 695 equals $6.95. Answer checks out. So cards, 85, gift wrap, 135. Use elimination. If you add Natalie's age and Frankie's age, the result is 44. If you add Frankie's age to 3 times Natalie's age, the result is 70. Write and solve a system of equations using elimination to find their ages. So now that Nikki plus Frankie equals 44. So if I add Frankie's age to 3 times Frankie, I'm going to get 70. I'm going to multiply on top by -1. So I have negative n plus negative f equals negative 44 plus 3n plus f equals 70. Negative n plus 3n gives me 2n. Negative f plus f gives me 0, eliminates that. Negative 44 plus 70 gives me 26. Divided by 2, n equals 13. So Natalie's age is 13. We need to know Frankie's age now. So n, so 13 plus f equals 44. Subtract 13. 44 minus 13 gives me 31. So Frankie is 31. Okay, so if I want to check it, use the bottom. 3 times 13 plus 31 equals 70. 3 times 13 equals 39 plus 31 equals 70. 39 plus 31 equals 70 equals 70. So Natalie is 13. Frankie is 31. Number 4, use elimination. At a basketball game, a team made 56 successful shots. There were a combination of 1 and 2 point shots. The team scored 94 points in all. Use elimination to solve the equation to find the number of type of shots. So we use x for 1 point, y for 2 points. There was a total of 52. So x equals 1 point, y equals the 2 point shots. Okay? So if x plus y equals 56, and then x, because it's just 1 point, plus 2 times your y equals 94. We'll multiply my top by -2. So I have -2x minus 2y equals -112 plus x plus 2y equals 94. -2x plus x gives me -x. -2 plus 2y gives me 0, eliminates it out. -112 plus 94 gives me -18. Divided by -1, because there was an imaginary -1 in front of here. So x equals 18. So they took 18 1-point shots, but now I need to know how many 2-point shots they made. So I'm going to do 18 plus y equals 56. Subtract 18. 56 minus 18 equals 38. So they did 18 1-point shots and 38 2-point shots. And I can check that by doing my second equation. 18 plus 2 times 38 equals 94. 2 times 38 would be 40. So 18 plus 40 once again, I added, getting too big of a hurry. 2 times 38 gives me 76. 76 plus 18 gives me 94. So it checks out. So just remember, with elimination, you want to look at your problem first and see if you can eliminate either one of your variables with adding before you start multiplying.